Hello and welcome to the Franchise Tag Betting Show. It is week 8 and we are finally joined by Sky. He's taking his time joining us back on the and Adam, as always, with us. As I said, it's week 8. We're going to take you through all your betting needs. We've already had one game in the books. It was the Bills at the Bucks, and Bills took care of business, winning 24-18. Guessing you've both seen the highlights. Adam, have you managed to get to see much of it?
Yeah, sort of highlights. Pretty much went the way I think we all thought it would. Bills are pretty decent, but they're sort of like they are giving up points, aren't they? Quite a bit, which is a problem for them. And the Bucks. I mean, if you don't like the Bucks, then just hope that Baker Mayfield's going to stay there for like quite a while, because that's basically not going to change,
Oh.
is it? I think 18 points is should be Baker Mayfield's thing. That's what it's going to be.
Now, there was quite a few people on the Bucks train after the way they started. Are people getting off of that now, Sky? Do you think it's time to get off the Bucks train, or are you still on it?
Yeah, well, I wonder who you meant when you said that. I think the defense still did well. Like even the red zone yesterday, they made a couple of key stops. It's just the offense has, just gone a bit quiet. But I still think they obviously pushed Buffalo. Well, I think the only difference was that Buffalo just come out and played high tempo on the offense. They needed something to spark that, and obviously got. I think it was almost a blessing in disguise, dare I say it, that Dawson knocks us out because Kincaid looks the real deal. So that was probably what Buffalo needed. But yeah, in terms of the Bucks, that division's still open, right? I think it's that no one's outstanding, so anyone's got a chance of those three to still nick it. So I'm still on the Bucks train, is what I'm saying. Baker's still got a chance.
I'm not getting on that train. You can't convince me. You can convince me to put more money on Kincaid, but I'm down with that one. Now, if anybody got to see the Tuesday show, you would have seen Freddie unveiling his present that he received. We also have another one. Here it is. There it is. With a better team, the Giants. I think Sky, you've got one knocking about.
I do have one. Yeah,
So if you want one of these beautiful hats in one of your teams, you can head over to USA Sports and using the code franchise tag, all lowercase, you can get 15% off. So if you're looking for Christmas presents for any of your relatives or anything like that, well worth it. Got some really good merch on there, top quality. I will be wearing my beanie quite a bit, I reckon. Now the winter months and Christmas is coming. So head over to USA Sports and get the franchise tag in as your code. Adam, you haven't got a pack us out, have you? It's just poor you.
I have.
Oh, he
I'm
has.
looking around for mine. Yeah.
I've just hidden it from you, but yes, I do.
Oh, okay. Well, that's enough of that. Let's get into the betting odds. There they are. Adam, what do you like this week? Which of the games you want to talk about?
So I'm going to start with quite possibly one of the most boring games that is probably going to be this weekend, because that's what we do here at the Franchise Tag. We go for the boring ones. The Atlanta Falcons are going away to the Tennessee Titans. The total over-under is at a massive 35 points. And the Falcons are -2.5 on the spread. Now, for me, I think it's going to hit the over. I just feel like they've overcorrected it too much. 35 is tiny, and I think that you're probably going to find that the over will hit in this. We don't know if it's Malik Willis or Will Levis, because Mike Vrabel's pretty much come out and said that both of them are going to start, so that could be interesting. And yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one to look at and to work out, but I just feel like the Falcons are probably going to take this one just. So I do like the -2.5 at 5-6, and that is one that I would put in the spread. I know the idea is that this new thing we're doing, we're going to do a spread bet, aren't we? So
yeah, we're going to take 5 games. We're going to talk about which team we really like on the spread, why we like that. We're going to stick that into a little 5-fold and see what the odds come out at. On a 5-fold, if you're going with it, it usually comes out around 24, 25 to 1. So that's what we'll probably be looking at. So yeah, just trying something a little bit different, giving you a little bit of insight of the games that we think and why we think that team might win. So we're looking at the -2. Adam, that's a really key figure when you're looking at betting, as well as at the -2 under the field goal. So I think that's comfortable for we're going Falcons. Are we all on Falcons for this one? Sky, you in agreement with that?
I was on Titans actually.
Ooh.
I don't. Yeah, I feel like
Right,
Could be Derrick Henry's last game. Could be Derrick Henry's last game as a Titan. He probably, well, obviously he probably doesn't want to get traded, but people want him. He might have one last song, carry the Titans to victory. I don't know.
So we're gonna go -2.5 with the Falcons on this one. Yeah, I think the price 5 to 6, decent price for it. I think they've got the more explosive weapons in the running game. I think personally, Bijan I think is doing better than what Derrick Henry has done this year. I certainly think they've got more weapons in the passing game. The defense of the Titans is what's keeping them in games, but I just feel like when you have got Malik Willis or Will Levis as your two options, I don't see a lot happening points wise. So I don't think the Falcons are going to have to do much in order to reach the -2.5.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of people shipping out of that Titans team. As you said, Falcons have started getting a bit going with Kyle Pitts as well, and Drake London looks great. And it doesn't matter what running backs in at the Falcons; they built to run the ball. We saw Algier and Patterson taking the load last week. So yeah, with adding Bijan in there as well, I think the -2 for that one is fantastic. Next game up, I'm going to go down the list. I know the list. Next game up, Jags versus Steelers. That's what you got for me, Adam, is it?
Yeah, so I was just looking at it. I think this is really difficult because there's a stat that's out there that basically whenever Mike Tomlin is the underdog at home, his record is 17-5-3. Which is
Oh,
quite a lot of ties, but basically he doesn't lose many is the point. So I'm going to go -2.5 on the Jags. We're going to go against that and go down that route instead. Personally, I just think the Jags are a superior offense compared to the Steelers, and although the Steelers' defense is strong in certain areas, you can get at them over the pass. They're currently 23rd when it comes to giving up passing touchdowns. So I think that's going to be a bit of an issue for them in this Jags team that is not been firing on all cylinders, but I do feel like they are steadily getting better as the season is going on. So for me, I like the Jags -2.5 at 20 to 23. I don't really have an opinion on the over/under. I think it's probably about right, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a coin toss with this game. I was really unsure. I really like the Steelers. I think I've been impressed with them a little bit more. And last week they really showed me that they can grind out games. Sky, are you going to try and talk me into the Jags on this one and side with Adam?
I am. I agree with Adam about this that the Jags can get at the Steelers' defense. I think Calvin Ridley could have a bounce back game. If I actually think the under though, I could see it maybe being like a 2017 to Jacksonville, low scoring, because I think the Jags defense is a bit underrated as well. As Adam said, Steelers defense is good, but I think the Jags are at a point where everyone's questioning, are they, contenders or pretenders? And I think this is the perfect game for them. Heinz Field's obviously one of the toughest places probably to go on the road. If they win this game, I think people will stand up and take them seriously. So yeah, I think they'll rise to the challenge and can squeak out a good road win.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the other one I'm a lot more interested in, I think this is a great one for betting as well. It's the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Adam, take us through it.
Yeah, thrilled about this one. This is going to be a fun game, isn't it? So the Minnesota Vikings are 1.5-point favourites for this game with an over/under at 42. Again, a bit similar to the Jags Steelers game. I think the over/under is actually probably not that far off, so I haven't really done anything on that. But I have to say I do like the -1.5 on the Vikings in this particular game. I haven't really said anything about the Packers over the last few weeks, but it's a bit of a disaster at the moment, and this isn't so much an anti-Jordan Love thing. This is more an anti-everything at the moment. It's like the defense is just too far off. That they're not putting any pressure on the offense. You see some of these wide receivers, they're still not running the correct routes that they're meant to be running. The O line is a mess. And so I think this game potentially could go in the sort of shootout kind of thing, like way where I feel like it's really more about who puts up more points than the other one. But I'm not sure that Jordan Love has the right stuff going on around him in order to be able to do that at the moment. So for me, the -1.5 on the Vikings at 10-11 feels like the right play, and I'm not happy about it.
Now, Sky, you might have to talk me into something different as well. I'll give my opinion in just a second. But Sky, how do you feel about this one? Are you with Adam on the Vikings as well?
Yeah, with them on the with him on that, and also I don't have an opinion on the over under because I don't know, with it being a divisional game and the Packers being so inconsistent with their offense. I mean, it started well with the season, right, with Aaron Jones, but it seemed like they've rushed him back a bit. He doesn't look healthy, and the passing game's not working. So I like the Vikings, and after beating the Niners, I mean, without having Justin Jefferson, their confidence is going to be sky high. So I wouldn't even be surprised if they won by 10 plus, to be honest, which Adam probably hate me for saying, but I'm quite sold on them getting a convincing, win.
Yeah, there's a reason why Adam is the expert and I'm the host of this show, because prior to this, I really liked the odds for the Packers for this one. I think the weakness is that I'll go back to the basics with this one. I always say to Adam, when it comes to this fixture, it's anyone's game when it comes to divisional. It doesn't matter what the records are. It doesn't matter what your previous is. It comes down to that game. And I think the weaknesses that the Vikings have shown could be exploited by the Packers. I think you're going to have a lot healthier Aaron Jones playing this game. I think he's going to be utilized a lot more. And I think Christian Watson's probably going to get open downfield for you guys. And the Vikings are coming off that win. So I think they might be in a little bit celebration mode and thinking that they'll beat the Packers. The Packers.
Can we please give Aaron Jones more than 11 touches in a game? That would be lovely.
Well, I'm calling it is. So I really like the +1 for the Packers. I think the Packers could get a win here and catch the Vikings celebrating. So if there's a lot of doubters now for Jordan Love of whether he's just a backup, he's not a starter. So if there's ever a game you need to prove that you can keep your position as that franchise quarterback, it's got to be this win against the Falcons to keep you in for a little bit longer, a few more games. So I think there's a chance.
Have you seen the O line?
Yeah.
Have you actually seen any of the videos that have come out about the O line this week? It is a mess.
Well, yeah, you definitely need to address that in the draft, don't you?
That's not going to help for Sunday.
Yeah, well, divisional game. People step up.
Hey, Patriots stepped up last week. Don't forget.
And
just had to throw that in there.
The Giants as well.
I'd like to see Dontavian Wicks a lot more. I think he looks good. He's not getting enough time, so that's another one. But I'll stop moaning about the Packers now. That's okay.
The next one we're going to take a look at. You've gone for a lot of them are very, very short on the spread. So before I talk about this one, is there any thought process when you're picking these games about what you're looking for in the spread and why you're picking those ones?
Absolutely none. No, I'm only joking. No, it's not so much that. It's more when you see some of these games. There are some of them that I was a bit like the bigger ones are available and are worth going for. I hate to do this because Sky might think of this as a compliment towards his Patriots. But if you actually look at the Patriots Dolphins one, the plus 9.5. Now, the Dolphins can blow out probably any team on their day if they get it all going. The concern is that obviously when you start having games that are like over a touchdown, it's quite a lot of points that you need to sort of like make up here. And so the fact is that as you said, we all felt. I would have thought the majority of people picked the Bills last week to beat the Patriots. They then go and lose. Well, why can't the Dolphins can lose this game as well? It's like the Patriots. I know that one's this is a divisional game as well. So it's like it's entirely plausible that the Patriots could put on another good performance. I mean, it's unlikely, obviously, but it's plausible that it could happen. So that's why you kind of veer away from that. You know, the Cowboys and the Rams, I mean, you've got a 6-point difference, essentially a touchdown. It's a little bit like, well, the Rams have shown that they can be decent. The Cowboys have shown that they can be decent. At the same time, they've both lost games to teams that you would argue they shouldn't be losing to. So it does. I feel like you have to be more certain. The only one of the big ones that I felt I would have been certain enough to do was probably the Ravens Cardinals. That was the only one that I really felt confident that the Ravens will win it. Maybe the Chiefs Broncos, maybe, but it just so when you sort of get these smaller games, they are a little bit more coin flip, but I think there are things that you can see in this. You know, you can see a Packers team that is struggling and a Vikings team that is going to be on a very high momentum after last week, feeling very confident going into that game, and it's only 1.5. You know, so it's like it's not too bad. You know, what was the other one? The Jags and the Steelers. Yeah, the Steelers did well last week, but it feels like the Jags have been better in general throughout the whole season, and are the Steelers actually going to be able to put points up? You know, Deontay Johnson's injured again. He's got a hamstring injury, so that takes away from it again. So it's things like that. So that's why I find the smaller ones are probably, this week anyway, a better one.
Yeah, I think when you start looking at especially the Patriots game, when you start looking at those games and when you want to bet on it, you're probably then veering towards, well, maybe should I take the plus 9.5? And then you know, you're really getting into
it. There is that side that you could go down that route. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. So next one up is the Saints and Colts. Adam, I'm guessing it's the -1 you like on this one, no? Or is it the plus one?
It is the -1 that I like. I to be honest, I was a little bit split on this one. It's a really difficult one, this one, because the Colts have been playing quite well. In the end, the reason I went for the Saints is I feel that the Saints can, I think in this particular matchup, the over-under's at 43.5. I think the over is what you want to go for in this particular one. When the Colts are playing this season, you're back in the over. 5 of 7 games, the over's hit. And so I think that it's a good one to go for at the 10 to 11. So I like the over. But I think the Saints can keep up with them and can do better than them in the same way that the Browns did. You know, you've got to bear in mind the Browns, I know Deshaun Watson played, but he was in and out quite a lot. And so PJ Walker played a lot of that game. And they managed to put the points up on the Colts as well as the Colts scoring them. I see something similar here, but I think that Saints defense is much better all round than what the Colts are. Colts are very good against the pass, but they really struggle against the run. So they're currently 31st when it comes to giving up rushing touchdowns. So I feel that this Saints team is going to be strong enough defensively to just slow the Colts down enough in order for the -1 to be on their side.
Now, I wanted nothing to do with this game in terms of betting. You know, you can see at -1 and +1, the bookies obviously think that this is going to be a close game, almost that they can't pick a winner. I don't know who's going to win this one, let alone...
One of them will.
Well, let alone whether I want to take -1 or +1. Sky, Can you talk me into the Saints, or has Adam convinced you that the Saints are taking this one?
The thing that doesn't convince me on the Saints is I watched that Thursday night game against the Jags, and I just got sick of Derek Carr overthrowing his receivers. It's just so inconsistent because you can see the big plays are there, but it's just I like the Colts, and I think. I mean, I know they lost to the Browns, and I know the defense gave up a lot of points, but I mean, Minshew had 15 completed passes last week and still managed to go over 300 yards. Like him and Steichen, obviously, with their rapport that they've had at Philly, I think the offense is clicking a bit for Indianapolis, and I think obviously Jonathan Taylor's getting more accustomed after sitting out the first few games. I just think the Colts they've got a chance, but yeah, you can tell I'm still questioning myself because we all know it's a coin flip, but I think the Colts they might use that motivation from last week, thinking bloody hell, we put 38 points up and we've managed to lose. I think they can bounce back and beat the Saints.
Can I just quickly say, is the idea with this bet that we will, do they all have to be spread, or can we use the over-under in it as well? Because if we can use the over-under in it, no, well, you're no fun, are you?
You can give advice.
In this one's much better.
This over's happening.
You can give advice on the over and under, but I want to build.
That's fair enough.
Your hot takes on a. We'll come up with a catchy name for it, what it is, but the spreads that you really, really like. Adam, the last game, I know which one you're picking. We've already spoke about it. Unless you want to shock Sky for a little bit, tell me why. Well, you don't need to tell me because I could tell you the facts already. How are the Texans only -3 to beat the Panthers? Let's talk about that more, because for me, this is the bet to have at -3.
Yeah, so the Texans, the over-under is 43.5, and obviously it's -3 for the Texans here. I think the reason I'm going to give you, and this probably isn't a very good one, as to why it's only 3.5, is that Frank Reich has given up offensive calling, hasn't he, at the Panthers, and the OC is going to be doing it, and we don't really know what that means at the moment. Now, I would probably hazard a guess that it's not going to look too dissimilar to what Frank Reich has been doing, because there's not really that many options to do anything other than what they have been doing. So I think because of that, that's why, like you say, the Texans at -3, I think, is a very good bet in this one. I mean, the Texans are coming off of a bye as well, aren't they? So it's like they've been there's nothing about this that really makes sense as to why it's only -3 in my mind, other than I think it might be we're not 100% sure what the Carolina offense is going to look like if someone else is doing different play calling. But I kind of feel that it's going to be very similar. The Texans, you can run on them. They're not great against the run, so I do wonder if the theory behind it is that Sanders, if he's fit, will have a good game, but if he's not, and he probably won't be, then Hubbard will have a decent game. Obviously, you got Adam Thielen, and they have been putting up points. You know, it's not like they haven't been scoring points, and the Texans have been giving away points as well. So I think that's probably why it's maybe not quite as big as what we feel it should be. But yeah, -3 for me.
Yeah, Sky, I'd take more than -3 for this game. Surely you're on that one. Why do you think the Texans are so much more superior than the Panthers and are going to take the win?
Yeah, actually, that -3 is it's a head scratch. I feel it's disrespectful to the Texans, to be honest, unless someone thinks that CJ Stroud plays for the Panthers and they've got confused because I just don't see how they lose this game. Like, DeMarco Ryan's doing a great job. I mean, we've all wowed about how Stroud's played this season, and the Panthers, I know Adam was saying, I know the Texans are vulnerable against the run, but the Panthers are awful against it as well. Like, I think Pierce and Singletary can both have a good game. I mean, the Texans are at 3-3, and they've been competitive in pretty much, I think, every game other than the loss to the Ravens. I just think they've got more weapons other than Thielen having a renaissance. The Panthers don't really have much. Texans have just got things going. Collins looking good in the passing game, good rapport with Stroud. So, yeah, you have to take that. and yeah, Houston. If they don't win, I don't know. I know it's at any given Sunday, but I'd be mind blown.
I mean, I think I heard this week that everyone at the Panthers actually wanted CJ Stroud as the pick, and apparently it was the owners that didn't, and they wanted Bryce Young. So maybe that's why you were thinking that CJ Stroud was on the other team. Yeah, I mean the Texans, you know, they beat the Jags, good defense, good team in the chat for winning their division. They beat the Steelers, another great defense, been beating teams with their defense, managed to make them look silly. They're putting 30 plus points out and shutting them out. They had that narrow loss to the Falcons. The Falcons aren't too bad. So, the Texans are beating good teams. CJ Stroud looks to have elevated everyone on that team. Nico Collins now looks great. Robert Woods looks really, really good now on that team. And they've got Tank Dell back this week. I think that's a massive tick and a plus for them. And Panthers, for me, we clapped for them that they stayed in the game till halftime with the Miami Dolphins. That's about the most we've done for them to say well done. That's the most I can say for them. So -3 for me on that. Adam, the odds are 22-1. So
there you go.
Fingers crossed. We've got ourselves a winner in that one. Let's talk about some players. Sky, have you got some players for us? Oh, sorry.
Just quickly on the Texans side, I know this is players and this isn't this is where you want to go, Sky. No. But just the when it comes to the running game of the Texans, it started off with Pierce getting loads of attempts. In week 6, he only had 13, and Singletary had 12, and Singletary is 5-2 against the worst rushing defense. So could be worth a look.
Might have stole that one off the Sky. Sky, have you got some players for us to talk about? Any touchdown scorers you really, really like? If you had a little pan through them.
I have. I know I had that ready and did think Adam was going to throw out about Pearson Singletary because of him getting more snaps. But I think in a game like this, they've just got to pound the rock and just expose that Panthers defense. And I think Pierce is at 21-20, unless the odds have changed. But that's what I had him at earlier. I like that. Other players, I guess, if we want to from the games. I mean, Taysom Hill is, I think Johnson's still out again, and obviously he was throwing the ball, and they seem to be like gone back to their favorite Swiss Army knife, until they get Johnson back as a tight end. And he was catching passes. Taysom Hill, he's learned how to play tight end. So he's 12-5, I think he's at, which I think is there he is. Yeah, that's good. Also, going back to the Colts Saints game, I haven't looked at the odds for this, but I was trying to think of a game where there's two players who are just going to basically dominate for their offenses, and I think Kamara and Jonathan Taylor. Like, if you want to look at even receptions of them out of the backfield, or just over for the receiving rushing yards, I think those are your two guys, because me and Adam and yourself all seem convinced on the over. I think they can both have a really strong game. So I think if you want high scoring and that's the sort of game you're interested in betting on, this could be the one, and those could be the two players.
Yeah, it's an interesting point to look at those two. Adam, we always talk about value of players and not being able to get them evens or above. Do you like the look of Taylor and Kamara for this one? Do you think that that's the best odds you're going to get them at?
I like the look of Kamara at even money going up against the Colts defense that's 31st against rushing touchdowns. I do not like the look of Taylor going up against the Saints defense that is tied 5th against rushing touchdowns. So I'm not. That's a tough matchup, I think, for Taylor. He will probably do relatively well because he's Jonathan Taylor. You're not gonna not go for him, but I just feel like it's going to be a tough matchup, this one. I really like Josh Downs again in this one. I think you stay in the flames with him. I really do. He's a very talented wide receiver who Gardner Minshew has decided is someone that he trusts. And so I don't see why that's going to change. And at 3-1, I think he's a massive price to be going for someone who I really like. Yeah, he's probably one of the bigger ones that I like the look of in these 5 matchups. I mean, do you want me to tell you other ones that I've got?
Yeah, give me
Yeah.
another
So
play.
Vikings Packers game, obviously Jordan Addison. He's second, I think, when it comes to the amount of touchdowns scored in the whole league this season. So at 7-4, I think he's a good one to go for, who is the number 1 wide receiver on the team. Now, I mean, obviously Hawkinson's there as well at 7-4, so he's another one that's worth looking at. But Addison at 7-4, I think is good. For the Jags Steelers game, the guy that I liked the most was Christian Kirk at 9-4. I feel like, for whatever reason, I don't quite know why, but the whole Calvin Ridley thing seems to be dropping off a bit, and he's just not really getting the ball as much. Kirk seems to be the one that that Lawrence is going to a lot more. So at 9-4, I do like him. Yeah, I mean they're kind of the main ones really. There are a few others, but I like Wicks, Dontavian Wicks for the Packers. I do like him at 5-1 just because he's a big price, and I just think they've got to get him out there more. They have to. Him across the middle of the field would be great for them. That's what they need to do. But yeah, but that's about it really for them 5.
Yeah, I'm going to. I've had a little look through them all, obviously, when I was picking out my trebles and things like that, which we'll get onto in just a second. I've got a odd that I just want to hear both your guys' thoughts on. We said we didn't know who the starting quarterback was going to be or what's going to be going on at the Tennessee Titans, but would any of you be interested in sticking a small amount of money on Will Levis at 13-2? I think it was bigger earlier. It was a lot bigger earlier. 13-2. Anytime touchdown scorer. He is a big unit guy, and if he's in the red zone, I can see him sort of tanking his way in, possibly if he is the starter and in there more than Malik Willis, who looked a bit shaky when he was down in the red zone when we saw him against the Ravens. Can I convince any of you to take that 13-2, or am I on a little island with that one? Sky, what do you think?
Have you seen that Rabel's apparently said Levis is the primary quarterback? Mm-hmm. I think this is just a smoke screen, and he will be the main quarterback. They're just trying to protect him. So, is it weird that I don't like the 13-2 because I'm just like no? But then when I see 25-1, I'm straight away like, oh, first drive, I'll catch him off guard, and he might sneak in. I think as a single, I think it's not high enough to tempt me. But if I was putting it in with other bets, I think what you're saying is possible. I just think for me to bet on it solo, it would need to be higher for me to be tempted.
Adam, I'm guessing you're steering away from it completely.
Sorry, did you genuinely want me to answer that? No, I'll pass.
There we go. More Sky, can kind of trick Sky into taking some bigger odds, really.
Putting a really random treble now with Will Levis anytime in it.
Let's get into our trebles, talking about trebles. So, Sky, let's start with you. Hit me with what you've got.
So the first player I've got on my treble is Michael Gallup. And that's because wait, I've got logic.
I'm out on yours already. That's 10.
He had 10 targets in the Cowboys' last game. Before that, 5, 6, and 7. They just I don't know why they keep going to him. And obviously he hasn't had massive games in the last 2 weeks because he had under 25 yards in both. But the weeks prior to that, he had 60 and 92. So he does have rapport with Dak. It just depends on the matchup. And I think something that Adam was touching upon earlier with the Rams, performing well, even defensively, like they've been wrote off a lot. They might need to look at other options other than Lamb, and Cooks is just not doing it. So I like Gallup there. Second for me is Dameon Pierce. I mean, I won't ramble on about it. I've spoke about enough of how bad the Panthers are. I just think he'll have a big game. And then, I don't know whether to go for the safe one. Okay, I'm going to put the caveat in. If Kenneth Walker doesn't play, I have Charbonnet, right? Again. But I've been down this road before. So the safe one is Tyler Algier, because I think he looked great last week, even with Robinson mysteriously being ill or whatever happened. I know we always talk about how good that Falcons O-line is, built to run the ball. So yeah, we're saying Algier, Gallup, and Pierce, a random one, and it comes in at. Oh, give me a second. Comes in
Excellent preparation here.
26-1.
I'm not surprised. I thought it'd be
With
higher.
Charbonnet, it's 37.
Yeah,
by the
I
way,
was
with
surprised.
Charbonnet, it's 37. So I've put money on both of them, and I've even done them as a 4, which is crazy. I'll tell you after. Crazy as a 4.
Now, did you say that Gallup had 10 targets last week? That was the stat you went with.
And
Yeah,
how
when they played against the Chargers.
And how many
how many
catches did he
times
have?
Did he actually catch the ball?
Well, he only had 3, but we'll
Yeah.
blame it on Dak.
Very reliable.
I've got all the Gallup stats written here. I was ready to defend it to the end.
I'm out on your bet, mate. I'm really sorry. I hope it comes in, but I'm out. Adam, give me some normality. Give me something that I want to put my money on.
So I've kind of given it away a little bit. So my first one's Jordan Addison. As I've said, he has second highest amount of touchdowns so far this season in the whole league, going up against Packers defense, who is struggling a little bit. He's the number 1 receiver on the team, so I think that Addison is worth a go at 7-4. I have gone for Josh Downs of the Colts at 3-1. I just, like I said, think he's got the rapport with Gardner Minshew, and he got in the end zone last week. Don't see why he can't get in the end zone again this week. I think with Downs, he's not going to be a prolific touchdown scorer, but I just feel like he's in a good place at the moment, and he's not the number 1 target either at the moment with Michael Pittman out there, and I think that is rightly or wrongly. I think defenses are trying to stop Pittman before they stop Downs at the moment, so I think that helps. And then finally, just for you, Andrew, I've gone for Breece Hall, New York Jets, to score against your Giants at 13-10. The Giants, I haven't actually got it on me. What is the stat about the Giants? You can't stop the run. That's what the stat is, isn't it? You're awful against it. So,
I mean,
They're awful at everything, aren't they?
you say we can't stop the run.
I didn't want to be mean. I mean, you know,
The last 2 weeks, we only gave up 7 points against the Commanders and 14 points against the Bills. We can stop everything at the minute.
That's true, but you do have a tendency to give away rushing touchdowns, which I believe Brian Robinson scored against you last week. Yeah, okay. So at 13-10, like Breece Hall, all of them 3 just under Sky's 26-1 at 24.3-1.
How is that? I'll put in money. I'm cashing out on getting yours.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. Mine is he's back. I've already spoke about him once. I think he's the go-to guy. He's been on bye week. He's back. He's healthy. It's Tank Dell. I've gone with Tank Dell in against the Panthers. I've got your boy Sky Ramondre Stevenson. I think he's been quite useful over the last couple of weeks. And against that Dolphins team, I think they struggle on the O-line a little bit. So there's a great chance of Ramondre getting in. And then my last one, we saw him finally, and I think the last 3 weeks, now Tyrod Taylor's in there. We're finally getting him the ball. I've gone with Darren Waller as well in there.
No.
I really like the Giants in this game. I think I don't trust Zach Wilson. I think they've only got Garrett Wilson as a weapon, and Breece Hall, obviously, with the run game. So I think the Giants have got a good chance with Tyrod Taylor. He seems to be able to stick to Daboll's plan a bit better and move the ball. So I like Waller in this game. So, my bet comes in at 24.98. So basically 25-1. I think I've got a really good shout with that one.
My odds have really. What have they given me?
I did say when you said that how it was, I was like, I'm shocked it's that short.
Especially as Gallup doesn't even have a touchdown. I'm talking my own bet down. Doesn't even have a touchdown this season.
They are our trebles. And Adam, have you got an evening one for us? Have you got it prepped?
Ooh.
I do have an evening one if you want it. I've got Kareem Hunt 13-8 against the Seahawks. The Seahawks struggle to stop the run. Hunt looks like he's going to be the main running back for that game. I know that they've come out and said that Jerome Ford actually practiced.
He practiced today,
despite
yeah.
the fact that apparently he's got a high ankle sprain, which is impressive. But I can't see him doing that much, to be honest. I think they will probably go for Hunt for most of it. So I've got him. Mark Andrews again. I had him last week, again this week. 11-8 against the Cardinals. Cardinals can't stop the tight end. Haven't been able.
I don't think they want to. They're quite happy not to stop.
Well,
Yeah,
they probably
we know.
don't, but they're not very good at stopping it. So 11-8 for Mark Andrews, and then finally we have found our guy on the Kansas City Chiefs, Rashee Rice, 11-5. We gone for him as well against the Broncos. Don't necessarily think that there's going to be as many points as what a lot of people think. There wasn't in the first game they played, but I think Rice is a good chance because he's the red zone target, isn't he?
Good odds on
He's
him.
not Kelsey.
Yeah, I mean,
really good.
He got the
So,
touchdown last week, and he got the touchdown to win Adam his big
Yeah.
600 and something.
Mahomes really likes them. They've got good rapport going, so I like that.
18.95 to 1, so a little bit smaller than the others, but still a decent amount.
I'll quickly go over my evening one. I had Rashee Rice in there as well. I can't move off of him now. So he's in there. And another guy that, after watching him fill in for DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think we might see him seeing a lot more of the ball now. And then Gus Edwards. I think Ravens like to run the ball until they replace him, until they trade for Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I can't see that happening. But Gus Edwards is the guy. So 19-1 that is for my evening bet. So fingers crossed on that one. Sky, any more odds for us before we say goodbye?
Do you want a Sky crazy? Do you want the ridiculous ones?
Yeah, just give me one. Give me one.
Give you one. Okay, are you ready for it? Each team to score 15 points in the 5 o'clock games and the evening games, 1,000 to 1.
Ooh.
Each team score 15.
Yeah.
Every game. Ooh.
Every team to score 15 points.
Who's going to let Tennessee, isn't it?
I mean, when it's the reason I picked that one is because, you know, we say about if you're going to pick a crazy one, 1,000 to 1.
Worth a pound.
Yeah.
It's worth a pound.
I'm just looking to see who's going to let it. You say this is every game.
Yeah, every game excluding, is it Chargers
night.
and the Bears? That's the late night one, yeah. So every game excluding.
Okay, so
the Broncos could let it down.
One,
yeah.
It?
Well, no, not with Super Will Levis. No.
So Tennessee is an obvious one.
Panthers.
No, I wouldn't say Panthers are obvious.
Panthers might lose like 30-something, 17.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's just because I like them.
Patriots?
No.
Nah, Patriots would be good. They'll be in. Don't worry about that. Oh, no, they might just score 14.
Giants.
Yeah, Jets Giants is the one for me. I think that's going to be a really low scoring game.
9-6.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked, honestly.
Get all your money on Graham Goodall.
That's not a bad bet though. That's actually like of all the
Adam's
crazy
in.
ones you come up with. That's not like
Wow. We have a franchise tag betting show first. Adam, 1,000 to 1 bet. Adam, please don't go crazy and whack a tenner on it. Please gamble responsibly.
I think I will.
Yeah.
Don't put your mortgage on it, Adam. Please.
That's all right. I don't have one of them to put on it.
And then the Giants get 14 points, and they're the only team to let us down.
Yeah,
That would sum it up.
Well, that's all we've got time for, guys. We'll bang all of those trebles onto the social media so you guys can join in with us and pick which one of us you want to put your money on and go with. So far, it looks like Adam is still keeping his what did Fred call you? The guru status on Tuesday.
Well, I think he tried to be funny and make it out that it was Sky, but yeah.
No, well, I just needs one of his 1,000 to 1 bets to come in. And he will
Jordan Love was this close to a first. But there we go.
But good luck to everybody's teams at the weekend. Thanks for joining. Keep it with the Franchise Tag podcast, and see you again very